All right, back on the podcast. Time to get my act together here. And I think what I'm going to do is just do the podcast whenever I darn well feel like it, instead of getting all bent out of shape all the time about not doing it. It's kind of like I built this studio, and it's a lot like my gym that I built in my basement in my previous house. I built the gym. It was amazing. And then I stressed myself out all the time because I wanted to use the darn gym, but I didn't want to use it. And I didn't want to get up early, and I didn't want to mess up my workout that I would inevitably screw up because I would, overtrain and overwork myself. And so same thing with the podcast. I don't want to overwork myself, but I do want to come on the mic when I have something to say. And I do think I really enjoy the interview format too. So I do want to host some people and, continue to have discussions with people about, life and their life and what makes them tick. So I'm going to continue to work on this. And then, we're drinking from a fire hose right now as I'm building out certain structures, but I've hired Bryce, who's my sort of jack of all trades media guy, who's been helping with editing, camera holding at times, working on products and working on, different graphic design stuff. And I'm just kind of throwing all kinds of things at him right now, and I'm hoping to get to the point to where we have some downtime, which I don't think will ever happen. I think what will more likely happen, at least hopefully, is I'll have a need to hire somebody else to support him because there's too much going on. At least that's the hope. So today's format, I don't have some major message. I just wrote down some things that I kind of felt compelled to talk about, some stuff that's interesting. And as with most of the format here in podcast world and in my world, or in the YouTube world for me, I just kind of share my life and what's going on in it. And so I'm going to be probably overly candid and get myself into some trouble with people, but I just kind of share what's going on, and hopefully that authenticity, hopefully you can't fault that. At least that's my wager in this game. So let's go back a month ago, a little less than a month ago. I went to SEMA and took the trip out to Vegas for the week, and I always I go out Monday and I fly back Saturday. The event goes from Tuesday to Friday. And I had a couple of people come. My friend Dave came, and he got there Thursday. So you miss out a lot. Also, Pan the organizer, he and I met for the first time. I think I can call him a friend now. We hit it off pretty famously. Pan, if you're listening, I wasn't too sure about him. I thought maybe he was contrived and kind of making up his persona, but no, he's legit. I mean, he's a real dude. I have met quite a few other personalities that are full of crap, and or I've had discussions with them. Maybe not met them, but had discussions with them, and they're just not who they portray themselves to be, which isn't always wrong. I mean, sometimes you're playing a character, which I think is cool. I think that's a lot harder to do. Certainly, it would be hard for me to do, but certain people are just they're just full of crap, and I'm not interested in that. I'm more interested in, I like to think I'm pretty decent at seeing through that, although I've been duped many times in my life. I think that, you can kind of see it on people. And so, Pan and I were able to kind of tour around and walk around. I can show them some of the garage stuff. And of course, I know the layout of SEMA better now because this is my third year. And I spend time analyzing the maps and getting my bearings straight and knowing where booths are and figuring out the layout, and then I walk it multiple times. So I've become pretty, not an expert, but pretty well versed in what SEMA is and what it's like. So anyway, I got there Monday later, came back and left the airport and jumped right to the hotel, and then I ran over to the ride company to get my pass. it's always good if you can to get an exhibitor pass, because then you can come and go whenever you want. You can come in early, you can leave later if you have something going on. So it's a blue pass that allows you entry. The other type of pass would be a vendor or a buyer or press. I guess I could get all the above. I could get an exhibitor pass, I could get a vendor pass, or I could get a buyer pass, I could get I guess I could be press if I wanted to be as well. But the best pass to get, I think, is the exhibitor. So that way you can come and go, or because I like to get there early, and a lot of times I'll walk the booths before the exhibitors even get there. So on Tuesday, the first day is always just kind of I do my best to get in North Hall, which is where the vast majority of the detailing stuff is, and then Central Hall, which is where most of the aftermarket car stuff is. And there are pockets that interest me. North Hall also has all the tools, and so I think I spent the first 6 hours. I think the doors open at let's see, when do they open? I think the doors open at like 9, but I get there at say 8. This year I had to run over to the Apex show to do a testimonial and talk for Cox hose reels, and then I ran over to SEMA. So I got there about 9 a.m. And then, I hightailed it over to North Hall, and I spent about 6 hours there, just an onslaught of awesome. North Hall is where like Car Pro and Rupes and Ceramic Pro and Expel and Suntech, and then who else is the P&S, and just most of the detailing companies that have been there for years. And then over on the other side of North Hall is where all the tools are. And I actually probably have more interest in the tools than I do the detailing stuff. The tools and the cabinets and the lifts and the air compressors and all that stuff that just gets me fired up. Maybe I have more interest in it now because I've kind of, have almost every detailing thing on the planet, and there isn't much left for me to acquire other than to just improve. And so I think that the tool side of things, there's still room left for me to continue to get stuff. And so I go into SEMA shopping for me, not for you, right? I go into it shopping for me, and then by proxy, I should theoretically, if I find stuff that I like, then there's probably other people that would like it too. And therein lies the why I do this thing, is that I'm buying it for me because I'm selfish, and then I get it. And I get the option to get the stuff, and then I get to sell it, which helps pay for it and allows me to get more stuff. If that makes sense, which I think to many of you it probably does. So I make all the rounds to North Hall. I try not to buddy up with anybody, or try not to make any appointments or see anybody, because I'm going from booth to booth, and I want to kind of capture as much as I can. But inevitably, North Hall takes me about 6 hours to get out of, and then I get a little bit of Central in, the first day. Then day 2, same thing. I try not to make any appointments or buddy up with anybody, and then I go and I walk as much of the rest of the show as possible. So I go and I hit up the Central, the rest of Central, which is Central's the massive section. And then I'll run over to the annex. That's where the rag company is, and I think who else? IK Sprayers were out there. So the second day is when I went out and got to see the rest of the show. South as well. South is where the truck stuff is, and the lower hall is where all the wheels are, which is not as useful. So South has an upper and lower. And then, so I walk as much of that as I can. And then Thursday is when I'll buddy up with, if anybody's in town and wants to go walk around together, and I'll go hit some of the things I missed. So I'll go and find the booths that I may have walked past or didn't get to see. Like I went, let's see, like IK Sprayers I went and found on Thursday. and then Friday is just to catch up, just to catch up the whole thing. We just go and figure out what I miss. I walked an average this year of 9 miles a day, which is pretty incredible. You have your phone kind of tracks how many steps you take. So I walked an average of 9 miles a day. I was able to do, a couple of videos and presentations. I met a zillion people. It's so odd to me to have people stop and take pictures and shake hands, but it's pretty amazing, man. It's just a cool life I'm living, to go from complete obscurity to having people shake my hand and know who I am, and I get to meet who they are, and that's really, really cool to me. But I realize I'm walking around there with Pan, and excuse the arrogance of this. I say that often, but I have this. I don't know. I have this desire for all this cool stuff there. I love learning about it and digging into it. And so I'm kind of touring him around and explaining to him all these different things, and showing him, like, he'd never seen Rousseau Cabinets, which is a French Canadian company, and I know all about them. I have a catalog on my desk over here, and I've read through it 16 times to decide if it's more viable than Lista, and then should I do that instead of Sonic. And I've chased that stuff from my own personal garage and HQ, and then I've been able to sell a bunch of cabinets and things like that. But the knowledge that I've been lucky enough to have the appetite to acquire, I'm learning and continue to learn. There's value in that. Just like when I consume things from, let's say, my favorite tech vlogger, MKBHD, there's value to me in watching that, and I don't know that I would call him the world's foremost expert, but the way that he delivers it, just it speaks to me and appeals to me, and I'm hoping that my delivery method has the same effect on others, where there's a knowledge base there. I'm not the world's foremost expert in anything, but I know enough to be dangerous. And luckily now, with this passion project that is Obsessed Garage, I'm afforded the ability to chase really hard and to much further depths than I ever was in the past. So that's exciting to me, and I really noticed it on Friday when I was kind of giving Pan the tour of SEMA and showing him some of the things that I'm aware of, and kind of turning him on to some different avenues that maybe he wasn't as excited about as I was. It was kind of cool to be able to do that and recognize what I'm doing here. So the after leaving SEMA, so SEMA was extremely successful for me, and then I got to go and I got to walk around. I don't think that I'll ever have a booth there, but who knows? It's more of a spectacle for me. I'm selling direct to consumer, not wholesale, and this is more of a wholesale type event. But I don't think I would ever do it. If I did, I think I would have lots of traffic, because we have lots of cool stuff that isn't represented there. And maybe someday I'll do it and just have the vendors that aren't represented there, maybe have them share in the cost, and then I'm through Obsessed Garage, I'm the liaison of that. So I guess I could do it. The cost is probably $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 all in to do it. And you got to pay for hotels and people and time and the booth and the building of the booth and all the things that go with it become extremely, extremely expensive. So that's one of those things that I don't know that you would. I don't know that it makes sense for me, but who knows? Someday. I do enjoy the event. I think I wouldn't enjoy it as much if I had to go and wasn't a free agent. I wasn't able to just run around and do whatever I felt like doing. Another thing there is I went to there's a couple of guys, JP and I forget the other guy's name, but they start this brand called Dur Fascination, and it's air-cooled Porsche focused. And so they have a podcast studio there, and that they built this little place to kind of hang out and host people, and then they launched a bunch of videos. Go check out the channel. I think it's really cool. High production, really well done. People telling stories about the air-cooled Porsche and why and how and when and how much and all that. But I'm starting to think maybe an air-cooled Porsche could be a project that I chase, not now, but in the not too distant future. And I probably wouldn't do all the work myself, but I would do a lot of it. I would do a lot of the work and do it at my garage. So a garage would have to come first. But there was a 968 there in the Eibach booth that was just amazing. Of course, the paint was swirled out, but that's easily fixable. But the car was just my style, super bare bones, really, really cool. So, I mean, if you did a modern suspension, modern brakes, modern wheels, and then do some sort of like 400 horsepower, flat six variant in it, I could really be down with that. In a car that probably weighs 2,800 pounds, I think that would be really sick. And then, make it look super clean, super cool. Kind of like a Singer Light, not the Singer level, but more kind of, something that would be, maybe $150,000 all in, and do it my style. Could be something I'd be down with. So stay tuned for that. Maybe someday I'll do it. The problem is I want to do it with like an 84 Carrera and have it be a base car, a ratted up piece of crap car would probably cost me $80,000 now. So that would hopefully be a post-recession purchase. If there's a bubble in the car game here, maybe that'd be something I could chase. So right after SEMA, I was an idiot and booked a 4 days later after getting back. 3 days later. I headed out to Atlanta to do the Cobra project. And, the lesson I've learned, I thought I was going to go and collaborate like crazy and really try to grow the YouTube channel. But I figure why rush? I have this overwhelming fear that I'm missing out. And, there could be more people out there that would really enjoy this format or this thing that I'm creating. And I need to get them all right this second. But I'm learning that I don't do well with that. So I flew up to Atlanta, did 3 days of correcting the Cobra, and then went and did a tour of the Merit Partners facility and looked at all their Porsches, and then did a podcast, or I'm sorry, the video on Ed Bullion's channel, the VinWiki channel. Also booked a meeting and a video with David Patterson and his car care line, and it's just, I was there for 7 days. Remember, I have this curse. I suffer from obsessive compulsive disorder, so it's just painful. I just did too much in one really short span. So I learned that I need to manage myself. I learned that I'm not interested in traveling around all day, every day, weeks on end. I'm not going to build that life. I'm not interested in that life. And so I learned to slow my roll on that a little bit, take my time, and I don't need it all right this second. So I did learn a valuable lesson there on managing myself in this new life that I have, where I do this this Obsessed Garage thing as my business. So I spent some time with David Patterson, and it was an interesting take. I'm going to do probably a separate podcast on discussing, creating your own line, and David specifically, and talk about my thoughts on that, and the thoughts of about people hating on others creating something that maybe they're not an expert in. I think that's much more common than not to have an ambassador of a product that doesn't know jack about the product. And that's not my style, but I think there's a reason why the vast majority of products are represented by people that don't necessarily know. LeBron James doesn't know how Nikes are made or care. And if he did, maybe that would add a little bit more validity to the shoes that he has. But there's brand, and then there's expertise. It just so happens that I'm building a brand based on hopefully some semblance of expertise, or at least I'm able to find the experts to lend the expertise to the product. So, but that's my brand. The vast majority of brands aren't the same as mine. If they were all that way, then I guess mine probably wouldn't need to exist. You saw in the SEMA tour, I'm talking to Richard Griot, and, he doesn't even, I wouldn't call him an expert in his own brand. He probably was at one point, but he's kind of turned that over to his son and to other people that are running the business for him day to day. At least that's what it appears from my vantage point when I was talking to him about the products, and I knew quite a bit more about them than he did, or at least equally. And I knew some of the things or some of the questions I had, I would have known the answer to if they were my products, and then some. So I'm going to probably, like I said, I'll have a separate podcast on that. So stay tuned for that. And we can have a discussion, not an argument, but a discussion back and forth on what that means, to create your own product line or endorse something, and what my thoughts are on that, whether they're right or wrong. So, I get back, and now we're chasing, right? And we had Black Friday. And I talked about this on the OG State of the Union, where I talked about how I'm moderating on certain things. I'm not going to run sales all the time. I think that cheapens the message. It's just not my style. The margins aren't good enough for that. Certain things I lost money on by offering free shipping and a discount over the weekend, which is just not smart. I understand you can have loss leaders that will get you to sell other stuff or gain a customer, but I'm just not a big proponent of having things that aren't profitable. That's a good way to go out of business if you end up in we end up in a recession or the sales slow or something like that. I just don't want to live that way. It just doesn't make sense to me to have massive volume all the time. I need to hire more people, which would make it even less profitable, and which would mean it's a quick way to go out of business. One way to do it is to try to get better margins, but it just makes more sense to do it the way I'm doing it, where I'm hopefully providing more value by teaching people about the product and providing them with access to things that maybe they wouldn't have otherwise gotten access to, commercial grade, professional grade things that are interesting to me that maybe don't have as much support. And then hopefully again providing videos and content where people will want to support me and help me build this thing that I think we all want to exist. So Black Friday, oh my gosh, we're still, so today's Wednesday. We have about 250 orders to go to fill. I think we ended up with about 800 orders, about $300,000 in sales, and just it's so humbling, so incredible, yeah. So now we're at our best month. We'll do about 500,000 in sales this month, and man, it's just we're doing it out of 2,000 square feet. We're doing it with a skeleton crew of people that are all obsessed in their own way, that I've carefully selected to be a part of this, and it's just, man, it's hard to explain how much my life has changed in the last, forget the last 4 years, take the last 6 months, and how this idea has fueled me to open the next chapter of my life and continue to stay open to the world and just eliminate the fears and not eliminate, but not listen to the fears and that voice in my head that says don't do that because of this or that, and instead follow my heart. But I'm going to continue to make mistakes, like the lesson learned about traveling too much, or I don't do sales ever because I do enjoy the process at times of going. And that, like, Black Friday is an interesting time. I tend to buy a lot of stuff that time, so that is one of the few times I think volume can make up for it. I am going to run here a gift card sale because we sold out of a lot of stuff. I really invested a lot in inventory to be able to support this weekend. But, it blew through almost everything. And so I'm going to run a gift card sale this weekend. Again, I'm not going to get on this cycle of sale, but I'm going to run a gift card sale mainly for the people that missed out. And I'm not a big fan of people that are late and don't show up on time for things, and then they give me the sob story about this or that. Well, we had the frickin' sale for 4.5 days. But so I'm going to give you another opportunity to, hey, here's the gift card. This is because you missed out. And I've got some really sick actual physical gift cards that people have the option to buy, which we'll ship out to them that they can give to people, which are just cool. I like to get a physical gift card, so I have that. But anyway, I think we're headed to the gosh darn moon, man. Sonic cabinets are amazing. The tools are great. I'm going to be talking more about that. The compressed air stuff, Prevost, the entry level pressure washing systems that I'm building. I just know it, man. I know it in my heart that I know what I want, and I think there's lots of other people that will want that too. And I know what people need, especially like with trying to figure out you're going to buy a Karcher, Kurt. I need to work on the German pronunciation. Kircher. Anyway, it's not. There's no ch. It's like Kircher. Kircher is how I think it's pronounced. Just like Krenzla is the way you would pronounce. It's not Kranzel, it's Krenzla. And I'm not even pronouncing that correctly because I don't want to sound fake German. But Kircher, let's say the K5 Premium, figuring out a hose and a wand and a gun and a quick disconnect package and what nozzle needs to be on it, how much flow does it have. So I'm creating a whole spreadsheet of basically I'm going to buy every single pressure washer I get my hands on. Nilfisk is going to be a little trickier, but I'm going to do the Nilfisk stuff too, and just chase all of that. And I'm gonna build systems for it. And I think that my thesis there is that I'm not interested in selling to the masses, but I do want to capture those that are willing to modify their entry level machine in hopes to capture them as they need non-entry level stuff in the future. My intent is not to be some elitist place; it's to be good, and everybody's invited, and I want to capture people longer term. And hope to continue to evolve this dream, this thing. So Prevost, Jenny, interior package. What else do I have? Another further stretch dream is I want to be able to distribute Milwaukee. Milwaukee tools, they have a zillion of them. Which impact do you buy? There's like 7 quarter-inch impacts. Which one? And so I'm going to distill that down to here are the 12 tools that I think you want, or the 20 tools that I think you want. Ego blowers, I'd like to be able to offer those. I know there's a lot of exclusivity with Home Depot and things like that, so I'm going to have to figure that out. But man, I've got this has all been part of the plan from the beginning. I'm just getting there to building it out. I have Bryce now to help me create products. Right now, he's over in the other room. They're working on Jenny compressors, which I've been able to offer for a while. I just need to get it up in the store. He's also working on the configurator, so you'll be able to configure the products. So he's digging into that to get that figured out for me, so that we can offer that. And then I'm going to continue to tweak it, make it better. Like for instance, my wash bay, I'm ready to tear it out. I'm taking the TV out, putting cabinets in. On the uppers, I'm going to repaint. It just needs another fresh coat of paint, debug it. I'd pull the flooring out, clean underneath it, and fix the baseboards that I did kind of janky when I didn't have any lighting in there, adjust the lighting, and I'm just going to continue to tweak. Anyway, that's the plan there. Collaborations I have coming up, I'm going to be flying up to Auburn, and I'm doing all the Dyna suspension components on my car. I really think that I'm going to like that. Who knows? If it's not, I'll punt it and go do something else. But I'm going to go tour the Dynan facility, Dynan APR, and then I'm also going to tour the. I don't think Sonic has a huge facility. I'm going to tour Sonic. We're going to dig into the MSS Plus line. We're going to have a formal launch of that product line. And get you pricing on all of that stuff, so you know what it costs. We're still working on the Sonic stuff as well too. So Sonic will be the the mid-tier and the upper-tier cabinet line. I intend to keep Sabre as the lower end, or let's call it the good, better, best scenario, right? And I can still offer Lista, so I'm a Lista dealer as well, so I can offer that if people really want that really heavy industrial grade stuff. So I'm gonna do. Let's see what other collaborations. I'm gonna do something with Mark Sanu here this winter. I'm gonna have him come down and visit, and we're gonna do some car content on my cars. So Mark is Savage Geese. The Savage Geese channel is by far my favorite car review channel, and so he's coming down. We'll be doing some collaborations with him. I'll be flying out to Texas soon here. Joe knows best. I'm going to try to get him some either Sonic or Sabre cabinets in his new headquarters, probably Swiss Trex flooring in a section of it. And then also, I got to get up to New Jersey we finished the New Jersey garage to tour that. I've worked on that behind the scenes a lot. That was the Chatham project. Ended up being like I think over $1 million worth of everything that went into that thing, or something like that, $700,000, something like that. But I'd like to go up there and give you a tour of what we did there and why and all of that. It's just next level stuff. We did a full halon system in there. Halon was a fire suppression system. It's something you would do in a massive like cloud server room or something like that, where water couldn't be introduced if there was a fire. There's this crazy exhaust system so the cars can be started without having to come outside. New doors, new flooring. They did all porcelain tile. I think about a substantial amount of 44,000 square feet of really high density, high end porcelain tile, which I'm excited to go see how that turned out. A rotary lift, just amazing stuff. He got all paint to sample Lista cabinets, and then also got the full on heavy duty Mosmatic drying system, the Krenzla, the KW700, and just amazing stuff. So I'm going to go up there and tour that. I'd like to do something with while I'm up there. Some guys in New York, maybe go do a collaboration with Ammo, and then also probably go hit up. Let's see, what else would I do? Maybe Rob Ferretti. He's there locally in New York, so I'm going to go up there. What else do I want to do? I'm going to be Adam LZ. I'm going to do Adam's Sonic cabinets probably next week, and then help him with his facility. It won't be OG level, but it'll be nice. We're going to work on some stuff there. He's getting a bunch of Benpack stuff, and Benpack compressor, and all kinds of some unique things that I haven't done before, which we'll probably do there. So those are some of the collaborations I have coming up. And let's see. So this is something I'm not sure I should be sharing, but I'm going to. It's the vision behind what I think OGHQ could become. And I'm actually about to go jump in my car here in a few minutes and go tour a property that's local to me. And it's 76 acres. It has a 6,000 square foot block, which would become the warehouse, a barn-ish type thing. It has another 4,000 square foot horse barn, which would also become part of the warehouse already there. So there's about 10,000 square feet there. It has a 6-car garage that's not part of the barn. Like I said, it's 76 acres. It has a main entrance and then a side entrance. The side entrance would be for the deliveries and things like that. And then it has which I don't want, but I'm starting to figure out how I would create it and make it and justify it as an 11,000 square foot house, under air conditioning. And then again, it's another 50 acres developable to put on other buildings as HQ grows and make it like a compound. So the intent would be to live there for a while. So I'd sell my home, live there for, I don't know, however many years it took to recover, build up HQ as a destination and host things like, imagine this, where I had 5 rooms in the house, in the house, above the garage, in different areas of the property. And you can come and you can pay for a Obsessed Garage week. And the week would involve all kinds of cool stuff. We would shuttle people, your family would shuttle them down to Disney and Universal, which is about an hour away, and Gatorland and whatever they wanted to see in Orlando, while we're doing paint correction week, where I'm sharing with you every product, everything I do and use, giving you the opportunity to buy all the products on the way out, so that makes it profitable for me. And maybe that week is, I don't know, $3,000 or $5,000, or maybe I do a weekend where it's $1,000, and it's something that helps me justify the destination, but where I can host people there and host events and trainings and different things at the compound, at my house, and invite people into it. I'd have a dedicated theater for the night, and have a fire pit and a pool, and have it be like like I said, a gosh darn Obsessed Garage compound. Tell me that wouldn't be the coolest darn thing in the world. And the way that I justify this massive property is that, I host people there occasionally, where we do these things, where I host different events. I also have the warehouse there, so I'm able to pay, Obsessed Garage pays me rent for the facility, so I may want to have some, tax-free payment of my own property, or my own, acquisition of property. And then I get to, I get to create the destination. And then what my vision would be is to turn this 11,000 square foot home into more of I'd eventually move out of there and build my house somewhere else nearby, and move off the compound and have it become, again, Obsessed Garage as a destination. Anyway, this would be the first. I don't think I'm going to buy this place. I'm going to go and tour it, and I was reluctant to share this. The property is $2.8 million, which you'll see if you built this in California, it'd be $15 million. I don't know. We'll see the quality of the finishes in the house. I don't think the house isn't over the top. It's not some palace. I think it's just a nice, really big house. And which I think would be suitable for what I'm attempting to do here, but I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going to take you along. I'm taking the camera there, and we're gonna shoot it and discuss it, and I'll share with you what my thoughts are and what the vision for HQ is, and then and then we'll see. Who knows? I doubt that I'll even be able to get this zoned properly for the type of mixed use that I'm talking about, but who knows? But this is the start of me searching, because we're spilling out of this place. Again, I'm not ready. I don't have the cash to buy this. I'm not ready to do it. But 12 months from now, maybe I could be. I've got some contractual things that I'm still working out that I have to finish up with my previous business, and so I'm going to have some tax owed on that, and some things like that that are coming up here. But I do need to figure out what's the vision, what's the plan. So I'm going to share with you my master plan, what I'm thinking about as Obsessed Garage as a compound or a destination, and what that looks like and why. And I'm going to share it rather than being bashful and being afraid that some people are going to think that think things that I'm not intending. So anyway, I'm going to head out here shortly for that, and then let's see. I'm going to have another podcast on whether the discussion about me detaching from people, detaching from, or being less available. I don't want to be less available, but anyway, I'm not going to be less available, but just talk about the pros and cons of that. So anyway, that's an update on where I'm at, and I'm getting ready to head over. I'm kind of excited to go check this place out and continue to craft the vision for what I have for Obsessed Garage as a destination for the future. Anyway, thanks for this year and this Black Friday thing. Thanks to those of you who supported. Gift card sales coming up this weekend if you're listening to the podcast on the 28th or somewhere around this. And anyway, stay tuned for more crazy. I'm making it crazier and crazier. Who's going to stop me? let's roll. Talk to you soon. What happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor, foot to the floor.